reached this part where we realized that this equity, what was his name? Equality 7624 or whatever his name was.
72521.
72521. Okay. So he basically is part of this culture and part of this world where you are given a job by the Council of Vocation. And just remember the word vocation, which is written right here, means a job, okay, some work. So the Council of the Working Council gives you the job, and he has always wanted to be a scholar because he has a mind. And although this mind of his makes him think and makes him observe things and allows him to have all the correct answers, he calls it a curse because it lets him drift off into the thinking land, and he is not allowed to think as an individual. We can only think as a collective. Yes, Ubeb?
Yes, I was thinking about this fact that if the people are not allowed to prefer anything or anyone or make any friends, then how would people marry and have children?
In this society?
Yeah.
I honestly don't know. Like, I don't know. But they're not saying that you can't make friends. They're not saying that. They just.
But you're not allowed to prefer people.
Yeah, what was it? It was the
transgression of preference.
Of preference. Yes. Okay, we don't know. But the point is, in a sense, just think about it, Hubeb. In a sense, equality 72521 doesn't sound to be too much of a human. He sounds more like of a species, manufactured species. That's why he's also has a weird name. I don't know how that works, but let's get to the real point. Now, we also saw last class that in this world where there are just this few handful of scholars into which breed and into which group the 72521 wants to enter, but these scholars basically, they are years and years and decades and centuries behind our current day and age technology and science. And these scholars are, in fact, like, they make a new invention once every century. Like, that's the level at which they're at right now, which is very poor and very weak and very obsolete, a type of scholarship, very obsolete, very olden and antiquated. All right, now.
It's also very hard to believe that this is the future.
Yeah, it's really hard to believe that this is the future. And here's another thing, that with regards to the reason why at this school, now just remember, till 15, you are at a school in this society, okay? This school does not allow you to think. It doesn't allow you to question, but it's a school and you're still doing learning and you're still having an education or gaining an education, but no thinking, no understanding, no nothing. The only thing you can do is accept and listen and accept. Listen, accept, listen, accept. Okay. So what
learn and grab.
Yeah. And so what are the types of things that you need to listen and accept? So like the thing that the scholars are telling them within this institute, within this school, is that the earth is flat. So these are the types of things that they're telling them, which, by the way, are complete bogus sort of ideas. What other things they're teaching them? That the sun revolves around the earth. Utter nonsense, right? So don't question and just listen and just follow, because we are giving you the truth. And when you actually examine that truth, you'll be like, wow, what a truth. All right. So let's get to the actual meat where we are at today. And from today's class, what we're going to continue. So what is happening is, when at age 15, you are done with your scholarship and done with your school and education, you now need to go out into the world and be given, firstly, you need to be given a vocation by the Council of Vocation. And the Council of Vocation knows best, okay, knows best what you can do and what the brothers need, the mankind, what mankind needs. So he wants to be equality 725 to one really, really desperately wants to be a scholar. Howsoever, when the day actually comes that he is to be given the vocation, he is given the vocation of street sweeper, meaning a jamadar, a jharuwala, a
The one who
garbage
keeps
man.
sweeping the streets.
Yeah. Yeah, which is very, very ironic. And I'll tell you why. Because they all know that he has the curse of having a brain. They all know that he likes to think. They all know that, he cannot accept that he likes to think, because that is a big sin. But, they know that he kind of gets into trouble, and he would be good in that sort of environment where he could test and create and invent and innovate. But they make him a street sweeper, which for me is like really ironic. I find that really ironic and almost spiteful. Like, it's like on purpose they have done this. And it again shows how little, let's say if they didn't do it on purpose, let's say the Council of Vocation genuinely thought he would be good as a street sweeper. That just shows how inadequate their knowledge is. What an inadequate way this system is working. Okay, either way, let's figure this out. So we awaited our turn in the Great Hall, and then we heard an equality 7 to 5 to 1's turn came, and the Council of Vocation said street sweeper. And then he said, like, initially he was like, what? Like, see, look here, we felt the cords of our neck grow tight as our head rose higher to look upon the faces of the council, but we were happy. And he actually says, I'm happy to be a street sweeper because I feel like I have atoned my guilt. Atonement basically means that I have gotten forgiveness for my sin. So his sin was that he thought and he made a preference. What was his preference? That I want to be a scholar. That was a very, very heinous and sinful thing for him to have thought. But when he didn't get what he thought, when he didn't get what he wanted, when he got quite the opposite, he was like, oh, I'm kind of like a little bit pardoned. I'm atoned. I'm a little bit exonerated for my sin. And so he felt good. And that's what made him feel less guilty. Because he said, we knew we had been guilty, but now we had a way to atone for it. We would accept a life mandate. What is his life mandate? Meaning his life job is to be a street sweeper, and we would work for our brothers gladly, willingly. We would erase our sin against them. So his sin was that he wanted not to be this. He was thinking, he was questioning. These were his sins, which they did not know, but we knew, like he knew it. So we were happy and proud of ourselves and of our victory over ourselves. So mainly what has happened is he has been victorious over his own base and lowly desires. And what were his base and lowly desires? They were his thoughts and his opinions. And he's feeling good that he has triumphed, and he has like crushed into like, grinded his wants and desires, and now they're gone from him, and instead now he's transformed into, morphed into this perfect being who's like in sync with the divine, with this bigger body and this higher authority, and his conjunction with all the ideals that they are, expounding upon the world. So we were happy and proud of ourselves. We raised our right arm and we spoke, and our voice was the clearest, steadiest voice in the whole that entire day. And we said, the will of our brothers be done. And we looked straight into the eyes of the council, but their eyes were as cold blue glass buttons.